What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Big Guilty Cigar Podcast. Today I'm solo because there was some connections issues with my guests, so I had to reschedule my guests. So I'm here by myself, and I guess I'm gonna be talking to you guys for an hour, chopping it up. Smoke right now. I'm smoking a Ratzilla from Drew Estate, so I'm gonna have the cigar and enjoy myself and give you guys a little bit of what I've been doing all day today, which is pretty much nothing but watch football. So guys, you guys know I'm a sports guy, so if I'm by myself, that's what it's gonna be tonight. So, you know, so today pretty much I just watched Red Zone all day today. Um a lot of good games, a lot of surprising games. I have no idea. Well, before I start that, I have no idea if anybody is gonna pop up and show up during the show. I sent out the bat signal, to any of the Avenger guys that want to come up. So we'll see how it goes. And of course, you got the black tarp in the back, so I'm in the backyard. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Balls deep, 69. That sounds like a goddamn Darshawn comment, man. That sound like a battle toad comment right there. That's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah. So you know, I had a few cigars earlier today. I got my no. This is a Ratzilla. What's up, Peter? What's going on, guys? But I will say that I did smoke the new 1014 black. That one right there is fire. That cigar right there. So my boy Jamil, he I went down to a cookout at his house, and he gave me the cigar made by the guy from Cobra Kai. Uh, Now that I'm thinking about it, like his name is just going to slip my mind. But that the new SP Black and the celebrity project that he worked with Martin Cove. That Martin Cove cigar is good. Those two cigars are good money. I'll tell you that for sure. I haven't smoked the new red yet, but I had smoked the new black and the new Martin Cove cigar, and both of those were enjoyable. The Ratzilla is great, man. It's a really, really good cigar. And this is an old Ratzilla. This has to be at least like I had this for maybe 4 years now. Like if we're talking about the old red, I'm more of a love and passion guy myself. Like that cigar I really like. Like I like that cigar in the Robusto size. That's my favorite size in that cigar. Um, the black the black tea the black to me is okay. Like I prefer the charisma over that one. So but out of the new stuff, I really enjoyed his I really enjoyed the black, the new black that he has. Uh, The old red is fire. The old red is fire. And the charisma, you know, I used to like the silver, but not as much. Um, but So mainly, I've been smoking some newer stuff. You know, like yeah, I smoked that one, and that one was phenomenal. Are actually really good smokes. And I don't know why StreamYard keeps fucking with my. They keep fucking with my stream. It's the crazy guest. So the guest that I on, so we actually so he created that shooting machine that catches the balls and fires it back. So he was giving me a little bit of the backstory on why he created it. And so he worked with a lot of like pro athletes before. So like his like he's from Norfolk. If you remember basketball back in the day, Joe Smith, he went to Maryland and he spent about 12, I think around like 12 to 14 years in the NBA. So, you know, so he was actually thinking about trying to get Joe on the podcast to talk about it. Just to talk their basketball experience. So TikTok name is Basketball and Cigars. And the fact that he was the originator of that machine is actually kind of crazy. Like you never know doing these. And and after a while, I love the fact that after friendship. So it's actually a pretty cool pretty cool doing a podcast. I love doing the Avengers show. If you're not subscribed to that, hop on the Avengers podcast because the Avengers podcast is fire. We do that every Saturday at 7:30, and the cast may change because it's a lot of us. So sometimes we'll have six, sometimes we'll have eight, sometimes we'll have four, and sometimes we'll have two. But no matter what, I'm gonna have a good time, some good barbershop talk, and similar basis here where the cigar is really just the so it's like that's one thing about cigars. Everybody says the cigar is pretty much the great equalizer, and in a sense they really are because you could be sitting next to a doctor, or sitting next to a construction worker, somebody that works security, but you guys become great friends. You bond over cigars. You enjoy yourself. You laugh. You talk, and so it's a really good experience. You know, honestly, I'm happy that the cigar smoking experience because before I got into cigar, I never did anything before. Like I didn't like didn't smoke weed. The fact that Exxon's and cigars in my family. Um, but it was pretty interesting because I got into and before I on just seeing cigar like reviews and seeing all the different different interesting cigar notes. And it took me a little while to really go and learn the notes and just where you just pull. So like cigar, like it's the same as like with whiskey. Like um I probably started whiskey a little bit before cigars, but before cigars, like I always go back to fragrance guy. And fragrance is and being able to, identify the notes and wearing it, seeing the reaction you get from it, um, seeing how it wears on your skin and just pairing it up perfectly. I've never been a person that goes. I just feel like so. Like I like this, I wear this. Like I got colognes at my house that I never even worn before, just because of the fact of after I bought it, I didn't like the smell of it, and then I have some that I didn't like at first, and I would come back to it 6 months later, and I'm like, wow, this is like cigars, whiskey, fragrance. You gotta be able to recognize certain things, and recognizing those things are so. Well, really be like, all right, well, this is what's in that fragrance, because mostly every fragrance has a similar base that you can really understand and like you that you smelled before. Have some that are just like super that are hard to find, and there's no like reviews on it yet just because it's brand new. So that 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 a dip in personality is like once I'm into something, I'm like 10 toes down. I have to know everything about it. How it's rolled, how everything goes with it. So, but I'm talking so goddamn much that my cigar is going out. But like I said, like today I just a 24-hour laundry. I go head out close, which is a lifesaver. Working for and because it really helped me get uh, in order when it comes to just taking care of myself. Like working AMs, I wasn't sleeping. I would always worry about oversleeping for work. So now that I work PMs, like I'm able to get when I wake up, and most of you guys, I go after I get from the gym, make sure for when I'm at work. Um, I don't. I'm a meathead, so certain stuff like I don't do cardio. I need to start doing more cardio. That's like circled big, in my book of stuff that I have to start doing. But I started doing a lot more. Just a lot of I like to lift heavy, so for me is like, I don't like doing reps. So like for my first set, I'll go 10 and then down to 5 to 3. I set I like to where try to get from like one to three. I try to go like super heavy because like I feel like if I'm not lifting heavy, I'm not lifting at all. Um, but like I keep saying every week that I'm gonna add cardio, and my son gets on me about that all the time. Like, so I've been back in the gym since on the just really just seeing the gains, seeing you know able still to hit up from previously from which is kind of crazy out because that if I don't get my lift in, I don't feel. I try to I try to at least like 4 to 5 times a week and try to take a day off and it was a really good workout. I'll take off and then go back for so and just keep setting. It's easy because and always say he's like, yeah, well, you'll see more results if you start running. Right. You know, like, and then of course, like once you start going that whole metrics of things, you really start you of guys like Dorian Yates, Lee Haynes, Mike Meltz on add to your workout. So, like the documentary with Yates, I think it's called Blood and Guts. That right there, like really like got me psyched about just getting in there and just and putting in the work. And Joe Rogan episode, and a person said, actually no, it was Jocko. Every day at 4:30, he's there working out, and he said, you know, every workout isn't going to be a great workout, but if you work out a week and then have two shitty ones, you're still completing your goal. And I believe that every workout isn't gonna be a good workout, and in there, and you just want to complete the goal, to get in there, you know, hit what you were designed to hit. Like today, I went before I did the podcast. Went to the gym, and I started. So I actually have to start changing everything up. So probably on leg days, probably instead of leg, I won't do like hamstring extension deadlifts, and then from Romanian deadlifts, I'll go to front squats instead of back squats. So and then usually you can only do so many things with your calves. So what's up, Fred? Like links in the chat. You want to come up, my brother? But you know, um, You know, I still haven't incorporated you know, like the yeah, yeah. I don't know why I got this goddamn man. First of all, I always have an amazing night with the Avengers, man. Last night was a really good was a really good show, and you know what, like my favorite one of my favorite things about when I'm sitting there with my brothers is when we get into deep conversations about life. And because all of us have different perspectives on life. And you know, I love when I was able to ask, like towards the end of the show, I was able to ask about, you know, how do they feel about the whole Shannon Sharp situation, but also like the biggest thing for me was the Shannon Crowder situation. And you know how Shannon, you know, spoke about him and his dad's relationship. So if you don't know, he goes by Shannon, but he's named after his dad. And you know, his mom put so much bad stuff into his head that he didn't want to be known as Randy Crowder Jr. He just wanted to be known as Shannon Crowder. So you know, he didn't understand until his dad got sick. You know, like he didn't understand until his kids got sick. That's when you know he sat down with his dad and had a real nice heart to heart conversation. And you know, having those heart to heart conversations are really deep, and they patch up a lot of things that are missing, and sometimes even the questions you may have. Like you know, during the summer, I had a lot of heart to heart conversations with my son. You know, I had a lot of conversations with my son, and you know, cleared up a lot of things. And but the best part was getting his feedback on things and hearing how he took it. So I think that right there, you know, the fact that you know he felt like he can express himself, and also too, just me not get mad and understand. I think that's one of the other biggest things were as well is I was very understanding on his feelings. I didn't get upset, and you know, and really just sitting there and talking it out with him. And you know, the one thing that he always says is, "Dad, you know, you're not the same person that you were when I was a kid." And that doesn't mean that you know that I abused the boy. You know, he just seen me grow as a father in the sense of you know how supportive I am of him. And you know, I express more to him now about how much that I love him, I care about him, that he can feel safe, and he loves that, and he respects that, and you know, also too, like he sees that, you know, from my dad, and it's funny just because of the fact of I don't know, like I guess it's really a trickle down thing to you know like he sees me being like my of course my son sees me being hard on him, but then he'll go and see my dad, who is the softest person ever when it comes to them. Like he defends them like no tomorrow, but he'll come down on me, and then my son will look at me like, man, like I ain't know Grandpa had that kind of side to him. And I'm like, yeah, Grandpa has that side to him. So you know, just seeing he's able to see like, okay, like, all right, like, wow, like all this time, like I get it, and it's never from a place of I'm gonna demean you. I'm gonna break. Like, I've never ever told them that I love you, but I'm very hard on when it comes to certain things. And one thing that got to me was, and I didn't take this moment into an account where he lost the match, and I was super hard on him. Actually, this happened 3 weeks ago. He came in second place at a tournament, but to me, like, I didn't know when he lost or how he lost. I just know that he went 4-1 throughout the day, and I had no idea who the kid was he lost to. And you know, me being stupid, stubborn, um, you know, I went and tore into him, and and even though I told myself that I wouldn't tear into him, and instead of giving him praise and grace, I told him, like, what happened. Why didn't you beat that kid? You put in all this work. Like, you should be winning these matches. So instead of me saying good job, it was more like, all right, second place is good, but why don't you get first place? And then to find out that he lost to, like, the 15th ranked kid, in the state. Well, no, a top 10 kid in the state. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, like, I'm like, how'd you do? And then to hear that, he's able to hold his own. He actually did very, very well against the kid. So that right there really, really broke me up, because of the fact of, I don't want him to feel like that I'm only there to be negative and to jump on him. And a lot, and sometimes, and you know it's hard because like, he has his mom that can go and tell him he did a good job, and he has anybody else can tell him a good job, and but sometimes he just wants to hear a good job from me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I realized is, you know even 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 when I'm going and giving criticism, still give him praise, because it's not easy. It really isn't easy. And now I have a younger one who he says he wants to start wrestling, and I feel like I'm not going to be as hard on him as I am the older one. And I don't know why. It's the craziest thing, just because of the fact of, I don't know if it's because he's the oldest, or, but I've always you know expected more from him than his brother. And I understand, like that could be not fair, or it could be some, like, some harder shoes. But and I tell him all the time, like, I expect more from you. Like, if this is what you want to do, then you do it 150%, and you go hard at it. So and I feel like with my younger son, it's gonna be all right. Well, you want to do it? All right, cool. Go ahead. All right. If you fail, just know, I feel like the older one is actually gonna be harder on him than I would have to be. Like, I feel like, because anytime that there's a problem, I always tell my oldest son, hey, go talk to him. You go talk to him, because I know if I talk to him, it's good. It's just gonna be the same way I dealt with you, but maybe, but. So I always tell my oldest son, go talk to your brother. He'll be like, what do you do? What he did this and this. Go, just talk to him. He's always like, well, why are you sending me? Because, like, but at the same time, I know that he'll take it from his brother better than he will from me. And at the same time, he wants that reassurance from him, more than me. Like he want like right now, my younger son is a big time gamer, and when he does stuff, he won't go and tell me, but he'll go and he'll tell his brother, "Hey, look what I did! Look at this, look at that." You know, with me, he has to be serious and strong, and I'm like, dude, it's all right, you know, like so. You know, he'll tell his brother, "Oh, hey, don't tell dad," but you know, I was listening. I was like, this is what happened. But I also have to, you know, pour into that relationship as far as just making sure that that his older brother is his older brother. So you know, and just having my son really go and having him really go and understand like the importance of his role. So what's good, L? What's the word, Brody? You know, the word is like a lot of people up here, Brody, were talking shit about them sorry ass Giants. They're talking hella shit about them sorry ass Giants. And every Giant fan I know, crickets. Crickets. You know, like I'm texting my boys, texting my boys, texting my coworkers, and all I hear is, yeah, but like the defense played good. The defense played good. I'm like, yeah, but what about your offense? It was the same problem last year. So you know, I'm looking forward to seeing that Cowboy W on Sunday at 1 p.m. So, and if you don't know, like, because I'm up here and I live up here, I love I hate the Giants more than any other team, just because I got to deal with so many fucking Giant fans at work. I got all these goddamn New York Giant friends. You know, besides Skinny and Peter's punk ass, there's a couple of Eagles fans scattered around at the job. But most of the time, putting foot to ass with the Giants is so rewarding. It is so rewarding. Like back in the day, like me and my friends, we will actually all get together during like giant cowboy games. Like that was like Super Bowl for us. So like everybody brings something, and Giants Cowboys are playing because like four of us are Cowboy fans and a few of them are Giant fans. And fuck Russ. Fuck Russ. So, then we got a few Jet fans scattered around, but we will always find a way to get together. And we haven't done that in a couple of years just because everybody's work schedule. So most people switched up and now they got to work Sundays now. So uh, listen, like Sierra made the perfect song for herself when she made the song Level Up. So Sierra made that song Level Up because she knew. She knew that what she was getting because Russ's net worth is somewhere around 200 million. So in future ain't touching that kind of money. So she leveled up. And honestly, like her being with Russ opened up so many doors for her. Just being tied to him because before then she would come out with a hit every now and again, but oh hey you hey no hey listen leave mom alone. All right, listen. All right, last thing I need is for her to come out that goddamn room and try to take me out with a cane or something. So you know, but I do feel in a sense controversy sells music. So she had that song with when Future cheated on her, and she came out with that song, if I was a boy. That right there sold some units for her. But after that, you ain't hear nothing about her. And then she got with Russ, and then she got that whole Level Up song, and you see what happened from there. Huh. So now she has the option to perform if she wants to or if she doesn't want to. So, and L, just for you, the P is back. That P is back just for you, L. But I did miss you yesterday, L. Even though your Auburn Tigers ain't worth a damn, and you know it, because when you start playing real teams, we know what's gonna happen to y'all. Listen, I don't gotta be at work till 2:30. So I don't gotta be at work. I don't have to be at work till 2:30 tomorrow. So me having a drink is not too bad. I got time to recover. I can tell you that. Huh. If you don't know, I'm actually smoking the Ratzilla by Drew Estate, and this one's probably maybe 4 or 5 years old. Yep. Do your thing, Fred. Put them kids to bed. Put them in a sleeper hold if you have to. Listen, if the Cowboys would have got blown out on Thursday, I'd have been drinking away my sorrows. But seeing that we actually got a roster, we got a team, it's something to be excited about. So, man, this one right here, L, is fire. So this is their, like, it's called peach old fashioned. So it's like a pre-made. Let's see if I can just block the light out of that one. There we go. So you see this one right here is the peach old fashioned cocktail mixed already. So it's something like those on the rocks. Oh, and also too, I seen it on Instagram. Fred was not lying. Cutwater is making that goddamn Incredible Hulk. It's uncalled for. It's unneeded. It ain't wanted. All right, like it's gonna be a lot of people stumbling everywhere, bumbling around, not know where they at. Like Fred said, looking at their toes. But I will say, L, you actually might like this one. It's not as harsh as the regular Penelope. Yeah, man. But you know what you been smoking on, L? I know you had the goddamn victory cigar after that Auburn win. But this Razilla is nice, man. It's really, really nice. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying this a lot. Let me do what you do and give a little bit of a note breakdown. because you know I'm not a Padron. Listen, that Padron 50th, that one right there, that one right there is a problem. That one right there is delicious. That right there is so good. Yeah. Hmm. So far I get like a hint of espresso, super white pepper, a lot of pepper on this guy, and espresso. Hmm. Yeah, like that nice dark espresso and that damn not that much of that seediness. Yo, what it do, Stick? Man, Stick, what happened today, Stick? What happened? Yo, your boys are so close today. And Jalen Ramsey lit that boy up like a Christmas tree. But Fields could have ran for that first down. That was a thing too. So he could have ran for it, because it kind of sucks because Garrett Wilson was open. Garrett Wilson was open, but Ramsey put that ass out. But no, all in all, man, like you got like if as a Jet fan, I would not feel bad at all. I would not feel bad at all. You rush for over 100 yards. Fields look good. Fields look. Listen, man, he looked like a legit quarterback, man. He made a few throws where I was like, okay, it's amazing just how some of these guys that are like that become journeymen once they find that right system and that right team. Like Sam Darnold. Once Sam Darnold went to the Niners, and Shanahan went up and fixed his mechanics. Then he went to Minnesota, and he had the Minnesota coach go up there, and Sam Darnold look like a legit quarterback now, man. He is not, and it's kind of frustrating because it makes the Jets look bad as an organization. Just because you got two guys out there now, you got two guys out there that played for the Jets that the Jets fumbled. You got Geno Smith and you got Sam Darnold. Both of them played for the Jets, and then both of them became journeymen. And now you look at them, and now you look at Geno. Geno is legit started right now, and Sam Darnold is legit started right now, where he's going to end up getting a contract next year. So, but I really feel bad for Bryce Young, man. I feel so bad for that kid, man. Like I don't get it. Like Carolina has never had a legit offense. Never. Even when Cam was there, they never had a legit offense. And they got that dude out there looking terrible. So, I because once again, Bryce Young, he started playing good at the end of the year. So, and then you look at him today, and he looked like shit. And then you got a guy like Penix. Penix played well today. He had a few good runs. Penix had a few good runs. Especially the one for that game winning touchdown. And Baker, man, man, yo, Baker looked like a legit quarterback. Like Bakey looked like a legit quarterback right now, right down there in Tampa. That just shows you another journeyman. He found the right team and the right system that had faith and believed in him, and now look at him. Like and Baker says he goes, listen, man, we got a bunch of dogs down here in Tampa. So yo, Baker was throwing that thing today, man. Baker was throwing that thing. But I will say this too: Spencer Rattler didn't look bad. Spencer Rattler did not look bad for New Orleans, even though those jerseys are those jerseys they wore today are hideous. Them goddamn gold jerseys are ugly. But Spencer Rattler did not look bad. Brock Purdy, nah, he got to go. Brock Purdy got to go. That Seattle defense was on his ass today, and like I watched a little because I watched the Red Zone. So if you don't got Red Zone, I tell you this, man, find a way to watch it. Red Zone is the best thing going because you're able to see every single game. And I don't know what's going on in Miami. Miami is a dumpster fire. That dude is getting fired by week 6. Like I wish I would have went up and put bets in early for him to be first coach fired because he's done. Because who put the belt? Oh, Indianapolis put belt to ass. Yep, man. Listen, I've always been a Herbert guy. Man. Herbert, to me, man, Herbert's arm talent, man. He could just sling it, man. I love Herbert. But you know what? Like they would have put that game away. He missed a throw down the sideline against the Chiefs. If he would have hit that throw, they'd have beat them by 14 points. But the only reason I wouldn't put Herbert as an MVP is I don't like Harbaugh is a running guy first. He's like, yo, we're gonna run first and then do everything off the play action. It's the same thing with the Jets, man. I think the Jets ran the ball like 35 times today. And Breece Hall was eating them boys today, man. I think he had like 130 yards today on the ground. So, and so, you look at these teams, man. But like Arizona, Kyler out. Like I don't know what's going on with him, man. And also too, like CJ Stroud, he didn't play good today either. CJ Stroud didn't play good today. So it's a few guys, man. But that's the key, man. Like you see, like don't get me wrong, 34 points is a lot. 34 points is a lot of points. But they made Aaron Rodgers they were on that ass. They was on Aaron Rodgers' ass today. But you know what? I would say this, man. Aaron, he made some throws. He made some throws, and in Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh gonna be all right with him. And then of course, the Browns being the Browns. Oh my God! You want to talk about a dumpster fire? The Cleveland Browns are a dumpster fire. They find ways to lose games today. Like your kicker missed 2 field goals, missed the extra point, and then he missed like a 40-yarder. Then he missed the extra point. Your defense gets you the ball back, and Jerry Jeudy just popped. Was it Jerry or somebody else popped the ball up, and Cincinnati caught the interception to end the game. You don't lose like that. Like you don't lose. Like those are games you don't lose. Those are games that keep you out the playoffs. Like losses like that will keep you out the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. Like the Cowboys loss, it's a game that can keep that win will probably be different from us going. And I will say for Green Bay, Green Bay they ain't put belt to ass. They put an extension cord. They put an extension cord to ass today. They went up and beat the Lions from pillar to post. Like like they went up to the Lions, knocked them down, picked them back up. Now I got some more for you. So yeah, he did. Jordan looked goddamn good today, man. That was they put that goddamn extension cord to that ass today. But do I think Detroit will be in trouble? No. Like Detroit is like you got pack a lunch. It's like we play the Niners. So they had a stat with the Niners that opponents were like 4-50 after playing the 49ers, win or lose. The week after you play the Niners, like your team is not the same. The next week, that game is so physical that it carries over, and your team is trash. The next week. So like Green Bay and Detroit might have that same effect on teams where it's just so physical. So but shout out to Duval. Duval took care of business today. Travis Hunter had a good game today for his rookie outing. Jacksonville, like goddamn what's Sunshine's name? Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't look bad today. He didn't look bad today at all. So, it was a really good opening week, I would say that. If you're a football guy like me, it was a really good opening week, and it was a lot of good games today, man. It was a fun watch. You know, the Redskins, they don't look like world beaters. They don't look like a team that they did last year where all of a sudden they were Dolphins are no Dolphins are ass. Dolphins are super ass. That team is done. They might as well just start the fire sale now. Like trade Tyreek, trade Waddle, and get all the draft picks you can get. And Tua's done. Tua is done. But I've never been a big Tua guy. So we talk about Tua, like we talking about a guy who, to me, does not have a strong arm at all. His arm, he has a water gun. You know, he has a noodle for an arm. He doesn't have his arm strength is not there. So I always felt like Tua held the Dolphins back on years that they could have went and did some damage, just because of the fact that you have Tyreek Hill and you have Jalen Waddle, who are two of the fastest receivers in the world. But there's never a time where he can throw that ball 60 yards. When he can throw that ball 60 yards in the air. Like if you put Justin Herbert on that Miami team and you let him just go up there and just throw that ball everywhere, what that's like them old Chiefs teams. And speaking of the Chiefs are done. The Chiefs are done. I think and Nick, if you hear this, Hound Dog, if you hear this, it's over. All that winning close game bullshit, all that, like we'll put up 22 points a game and our defense will save us. Nah, that's dead. Like Kelsey's old, he's slow, he's showing it. Uh, Pacheco is not the same back that he was 2 years ago before the injury, and Mahomes is not the same guy. Like he got no receivers, man. Like it don't make sense. Like it's crazy. Oh man, are you surprised by that? Like Like Derrick Henry is a monster. First of all, this man got the nerve. He got the nerve to say he's vegan. He got the nerve to say, "Oh yeah, I'm vegan. I do this special diet." And he plays at like 270. You know, that's what I heard. I heard during the season he gets up to about 270 during the season. Got to know a lot of people say that he's vegan. Man, that's a whole lot of fucking meat right there, man. To be running at 270, get up out of here with that. Let me check the update of the score real quick. Oh, but the Bills are in it. You know, like it's not like the Bills are out of it, but like that's the thing. It's like when you play Baltimore, like put your chin strap on tight, put them shoulder pads on a little bit tighter because that running game is coming. Oh, and mind you, we held Saquon to 33 yards. Just know that. All right, we held Saquon Barkley at the 33 yards. So that run defense is looking all right. Mm. Brody's. It, Yo, I believe it. I believe it. You know, like Lamar, he gets credit, but they don't want to give him full credit because they'll never put him in the Mahomes category. Like they'll never compare him to a Herbert, Mahomes. You know, like they always say, oh well, his legs is his secret ingredient, and never give him his credit for how he throws the ball. Like they always find a way to a way to downplay him. Yeah, he was robbed last year for sure. Hold up. Make sure that my external charger didn't die. Oh, where's the button? Yep. God damn it. So I got this external charger for my battery pack, man, and that's impossible to charge. So and it takes the old school USB port, and I can't find that. I can't find that thing for nothing. So I'm using one that I use for my PlayStation, but it don't charge this fucking thing, and it's like frustrating. Let me see let me turn on my backlight. Maybe I can get some light from the back. Uh, let's see if that would help it out. Well, it does a little something, something. But yeah, man, it's exactly. No, that's 100% robbery. Like they wanted to go and give it to Josh Allen so bad. That was the thing. They wanted to give it to him so bad that he could do no wrong. And to me, like when Josh Allen throws, he reminds me a lot of he reminds me a lot of Favre. He reminds me a lot of Favre because he just throws it anywhere. Double coverage, triple coverage, it don't matter. He feel like his arm talent will go and save him through anything. Hold on, let me I'm gonna try to put this camera. Let me see something. Flashlight. Let me try. There we go. Turn to the highest highest brightness, and I'm gonna back myself up closer to the wall. With reckless abandon, yeah, man. Like he don't care. He just throw the ball and feel like his arm is is gonna do everything for him. So that's my issue with Josh Allen. Everybody swear like he's you know like the second. Don't mean he ain't good, but the credit that he be getting for what he be doing. Oh, uh, yeah, man, he be tossing that ball around like reckless abandonment, and anybody if that was anybody else, it's not a problem. But it's going to be interesting to see, like, because Atlanta is really just waiting for a quarterback to go down, so a team is willing to pay for Kirk Cousins. So that's what they're waiting for. Atlanta is waiting for somebody desperate to come up and take that contract on, and hopefully get a pick out of it. Sorry, there's a goddamn bug on my bottle cap. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in college football because I think everybody's playing them soft ass teams for the next few weeks. But on TikTok they were saying that the battle was supposed to be the battle of the bands. So it was supposed to be Ohio State band versus Grambling band, and it was very interesting to see like the videos on TikTok that they did for Grambling. So they actually had the marching band of Grambling do like a mini parade into the stadium. So Grambling went up there and showed out. They lost the football game, but they band went there and showed out. So they pretty much paid Grambling to go there for their band because who was it? It was goddamn South Florida. So Florida paid South Florida 500,000 to go there, and you know my boy Frank, his son is the assistant head coach down there and at South Florida. So man, shout out to Frank, man. Shout out to South Florida, for that win, man. That was a great win. Um, um, so but Florida, man. You know what the problem with Florida, like that school is just a disgrace now, man. Florida is a straight up disgrace. Like you know, Anybody you draft from there ends up getting cut. If if you drafted anybody from Billy Napier, they come in there with this entitlement, like homeboy, like the kids that the Bucks drafted. The Bucks drafted a kid. You know, the Bucks went and drafted the defensive tackle. Came in at 450 pounds. The Bucks said we need you at 420 to play. He showed up at like 455. He didn't lose no weight. They said, all right, we need you for 3 weeks, wait for 3 months to lose this weight. He came in and ain't lose shit. So it's interesting because some people had an interesting take on it when it came to him, just off the strength of the fact that they were saying that other reason that they cut him was the fact of it's a health risk. So they didn't want to be liable if something happened to him, as far as him, dying on the field and stuff of that nature, just because of his weight. But to me, it's more or less like you got the opportunity. You came into your pro day at 420, and then when you get drafted, you go right back up to where you were. You know, like if you look at all these ex NFL players, like even Vince Wilfork, he was a big boy. He dropped down. You look at the offensive lineman from Joe Thomas, lost all that NFL weight. So I don't get how you're given this opportunity, and instead of you going up and taking advantage of it, you just go up and just throw it away because you want to do something, because you can't go and have your fat ass stop eating after 9 o'clock. So the stories from him is out of Florida, is the fact that he would go to McDonald's. So if you go to McDonald's, they do they sell those cookies, but they sell them. It's supposed to be 12, but they give you a 13 one for free. So he will buy that whole thing of cookies and eat it by himself with milk at like 12 o'clock at night before he went to bed. So to me, I don't get, my whole thing about the whole situation is the fact that I don't understand why he couldn't go at Florida, start getting that weight under control. Because then you're going up and just throwing your problems onto somebody else. You know? So that's my whole thing about the whole situation with that kid. You know, Shador, well, Shiloh wasn't going to make the team anyway. Shiloh was going to be on the practice squad anyway. He just messed up his chance to get on the practice squad. You know, it's really messed up when it comes to him. Just off the strength of the fact that because watching Shiloh, I didn't think Shiloh was good enough to make an NFL team anyway, because he missed too many tackles. Yeah, he could thump you, but in the open field, he just missed way too many tackles. Instead of just making sure that he secures the guy, brings the guy down, everything with him has to be a kill shot. So, you know, like I didn't think Shallow was gonna make the team his first year. Maybe his second year, he can make the team, but he was doing good on special teams. So, to me, it's just crazy. To me, it's just really, really crazy. It's crazy how people just squander away like golden opportunities. But I did the same thing when I was younger. Like when I played rugby, I had a chance to try out for the national team, and instead of me listening to my coach trying out for a certain position, I said, "Nah, I'm gonna do what I want to do." and I went and I tried out for a different position, and it cost me going from the invite that you pay for to getting invited to Arizona. So it's one of those things that you look back at like, damn. So you know, I understand it. Like that's not saying that like that anybody never went in slander situations, but oh, you know what I meant. So, but it's hard. It's hard to tell somebody, especially when they're that young, to go left when they want to go right. It's very hard to get your point across because no matter what, they always feel like their way is the right way. So and right now I'm waiting for Fred. Fred say he putting the kids back to bed. I don't know if Brody's at work. If Stick want to come up and talk about his Jets, I put the link in the Avengers chat. So yeah, but today I'm going solo dolo because my guest was having he was having Wi-Fi issues, so we wasn't really connecting like that. And but I'm gonna have more than 2 weeks. And I think it's gonna be an amazing show just because of the fact he created that shooting machine. So the shooting machine you see all the NBA players using, where the ball gets caught, comes down, and they shoot it back out to him. He made that machine. And he's worked with a few NBA players. His one player is Joe Smith. You know, ex Maryland basketball player, played for Timberwolves, played for the Warriors. Played like 10 years in the NBA. So yeah. So but and right now I'm smoking the Ratzilla. Actually brought out some a few cigars from my boy Terrence. From Cigars Daily. I was gonna smoke those after this one during the live. So, but you know, it, it's one of those things where StreamYard finds the perfect time to fuck shit up. Somehow, some way, they always like now it's running perfectly. But an hour ago, it was giving me connection problems out the yin yang. And it really sucks because that right there would have been a great conversation, and it just sucks that it couldn't happen. So, oh man, you know, it's pretty interesting. Like I would say, like I don't get how Keelan would just go on live by himself and sit there and just talk and express himself. Because it's kind of hard when you don't have nobody to bounce stuff off of. You know, and Keelan would be there, side panel up, you know, just talking and just talking about everything, life, life in general. So, take it to me, it takes special talent to go out there and just and do that. So, My mom got perfect timing. I just texted her talking about, it's amazing. What the fuck? I don't know what happened there, but it's amazing. Like, like how you go from taking care of your parents taking care of you to you taking care of them. And like my mom, she has her health issues with two strokes. And a few weeks ago she was very, very close to having her third. And you know it weighed on me a lot. And the doctor seen that, because I felt like it was my fault. you know I really felt like it was my fault that her blood pressure was so high. And the doctor goes, we just can't put it all on your son. You have to do your part too. So that means that you have to be accountable for you taking your medicine. And that right there was really, really big and really, really helpful. Because it was tough. It was tough being in that doctor's office with her. And and her thing is, like, she wants to do physical therapy so this way she can walk. And well, she can that this way she can walk farther distances. But it's really, really, really tough, just because of the fact that like, she had the strokes, but she still wants to smoke. And that's something that I can never get off of. So I would try those nicotine pouches, like the Zens, and I think the other one was called, like, the Vivo or whatever it's called. So I would try those, and she wouldn't enjoy those. She has to have a cigarette. And a cigarette really spikes up her blood pressure. So and it's hard, just because of the fact that I'm really doing it by myself. It sucks, just because like, you wish you had more support from other people, just to come in and like, on certain days, like, don't worry about it, I got you. Like, I'll take care of mom, don't worry about it. But it's like, it's kind of just like me and her again, just to get her right. So, and it's one of those things, because like, she's not that person that she used to be. And me and my brothers were having a conversation about that, just like, like, mom isn't the same mom anymore, just off the strength of, she depends on, like, she's not as social as she used to be. My mom used to be very, 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 a very social person. And now she's kind of falling back from that now. And I really have to get on her. I'm like, hey, did you call this person? Did you call that person? I really have to start being on her case, because like, she doesn't like being at the house by herself. But I'm like, listen, like, you can call people, you can reach out to people. We got family you can talk to while I'm at work. So that's one of the things that I try to go and preach to her. Just like, go and you know talk to family. It's all right. Like, you're not here by yourself. Because when everybody calls me, the first thing they ask is, how's your mom doing? You know, and like, it's hard to say, like, all right, well, she's doing good. But then when they see her, they get upset, because they go, oh, no, that's not the person that I knew. So it's a battle, not just for her, but for me as well. So It's one of those things where you really try to stress the just the importance of mental health, and um, I would say mental health, and just being by yourself, that like depression, because she knows that she can't do what she used to do, and that bothers her. Like she can't just get up and go, which is which I go back and forth on. I don't mind it because of the fact that it makes it much easier for me to track her and to know where she's at. So so that's what's going on there. But I guess in about 10 minutes I'll hop off this bad boy, um, head back upstairs and watch the game. So you know, I want to thank y'all guys for just listen to me ramble. This right here is it could be therapeutic, just sitting here and just talking about whatever. So, but it's a good it's a good thing to get back out here, back on my platform. Because I've been slacking lately. Like my son came up to me, and he was really saying like, hey, like can you not do a podcast twice a week? Can you do it once a week? Because he wanted Sundays just for us. And I'll take took that to heart. I was like, you know what, like you got it. Like I won't do podcast twice a week. This way we can run around, head to the city, whatever you want to do that day is your day. Because on Saturdays I always have to find a way to make it back for the Avengers show. Which I love doing when like it has to be something dire for me not to be there. Next weekend I won't be on the podcast. But next week I do plan on having Mo from Patina on the show. So I hit up Mo. Mo hit me up. He thought we were gonna do it tonight, and I told him, I double booked myself. So me and Mo should be linking up tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow on next Sunday. So you know how that show's gonna go, man. Mo's such a good guy, man. Really a good brother. Really good brother. And and the fact that he's a gym rat like me, you know, it's one of those things where I can really get into just people's mindsets when they're back into the gym. Like what are you lifting for? Like for me, like I always feel like if like, and I tell my son this too, because I'm like, I don't care if you're doing 20 reps or something. I need you to do at least one set of heavy, because I need you to grow. I need you to grow, because the issue, like he's gonna be a tweener next year for his rep, because when he wrestles he's gonna be around 183. He's gonna be wrestling at 189. So I'm telling him, like, listen, like I need you to get a little thicker. I need you to put on a little bit more muscle, so when the season comes around, you'll be at least at 187. You'll be at 187. This way you have no weight issues. If you're at 183, you're giving up a lot of weight to these guys. So you know, I that's why I always say, like, like if you're in the gym, don't go there and waste your time by doing bullshit. Don't cheat yourself. You know, don't cheat yourself. And people can call it having a meathead mentality, but to me, it's like nah, like you go in there and you try to be as strong as possible. You know, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So you can go in there and and do all them goddamn reps, but you're not putting on nothing. So, for me, I've always been like you lift the fucking earth up. So I still do my calisthenics, still do my push ups, my push ups, my pull ups, my dips. When you're in there, but like to me, like going in there and hitting just straight up machines, that's bullshit. I don't care how old you are. Like my dad is getting back into the gym now because my son pushed him to go back. And I'm gonna tell him the same thing. Like, don't go in there and do no bullshit. I don't want to hear you go up in there and you're in there doing machines and you're in there just doing 15 to 20 reps. I don't want to hear that shit. Like when you get up in there, you go up in there and you lift, you lift to get gains. So, because to me that's the most important thing. Well, at least with my mindset. Because like every week you should try to want to put on at least 5 pounds onto something. You should go up in there just want to lift 5 pounds heavier. Like because you want to see progress and you want to see like you want to see a difference. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate when I see these overweight Instagram people go up in there and they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna lose weight and this and that. And I'm like, yo, like, so if you want to lose, if you like, y'all might think it's crazy, but my mindset is we start off this way and then we chop it down. So if I was training somebody like that, what I want to do is build their confidence. I don't want them to sit there and no, I want like you go up in there, you start lifting, you start seeing results in your gains. And okay, well, you came in here, you came in here lifted 145. By the end of the month, you at 205, maybe even 225. This way you start like listen, like okay, and then after about 4 or 5 months of that, now we start chopping that down because then you start ended up with loose skin. So instead of having that, instead of just right away chopping at that, trying to lose that muscle, put the muscle on and then chop it up. That's how my philosophy is. It's like put the muscle on first and then chop it down. Because at the end of the day, your body has to be able to support whatever you're doing. So you going in there and doing body weight squats, like, or you're losing water weight. You're in there and you're losing water weight. You're gonna put the second you get out there, you drink a bottle of water, all that weight you lost, you're putting it back on anyway. So you go in there, you lift heavy. You go in there, you lift heavy, and then once you're committed to that, then we start slicing it up. Then we start adding the cardio to it. So this way we add the cardio little by little. But in the meantime, you're going to see results. You get you're gonna see those muscles start to grow. So you know I may be doing it the backwards way, but I know one thing for sure is you won't have all that loose skin. You won't have all that loose skin that a lot of these people have from when they drop down from 500 or 400 or whatever it is, you know, and you have to get that surgery. Nah, now it's like, all right, like, yeah, like, everything is tightening up. So that's my last rant of the night. That's my philosophy, you know. So I like to thank you guys for just letting me vent, let me do my thing and be myself. Next week I should be having Mo from Patina on, and actually got to order something from my boy Michael Wells, just so I can have something from Patina, so I can smoke something during the show. And I'll be back next week, same time, 8 o'clock, same place in the backyard until it gets too cold up here in the Northeast. So you know the vibes ready. Tell a friend, tell a friend. I want to thank everybody for watching the podcast for the solo dolo edition of the Big Guilty Cigar podcast. And until next time, guys. Peace. Love you. Take care. Take care of your family, your friends. If you haven't called one of your friends that you were cool with growing up in a while, just give them a call, give them a ring, and just say, yo, I was thinking about you, and I just want to tell you that I miss you and I love you. That's it. Till next time, guys. Peace.